Alara stood at the glass entrance of Memory Tech, her reflection staring back, tired eyes, straight shoulders, and the waver form clutched tightly in her hand. Her fingers trembled, smudging the name she'd written. Leo Park. The name of the man she once held like home. Now scribbled like a mistake she couldn't wait to undo. Behind the reception desk, a woman in a soft lab coat offered a gentle smile.
"You're right on time," she said.
"First-time procedure?" Alara nodded. "Your form is marked for partner-specific erasure. Do you want to confirm that this is what you want?" Her voice didn't shake. "Yes." The receptionist looked down at the digital tablet and tapped her screen. Memories related to Leo Ji-hoon Park will be isolated and safely removed. Anything beyond that will remain untouched. You'll be called shortly. Alara nodded again and took her seat in the waiting area. White chairs, silent walls, artificial calm. Her breath was even, but her chest burned. It had been 3 months since Leo pulled her out of danger, said they had to leave, gave no full explanation, only told her to trust him. And she did. They started over in a small city far from the chaos of the company they left behind. He said he loved her. He was gentle, protective.
Good.
But then she found the file. A printed document buried in a box under his desk. A report written 3 months ago. Her name. Her photo. A mission directive. Target. Alara May. Status. High risk. Eliminate silently. And the name at the bottom of the page? Leo J. Park. She didn't scream, neither did she didn't run. She just folded the paper slowly, looked at him across the room, and walked into the bathroom, where she shook in silence for nearly an hour. He never denied it. When she confronted him, he just said, "I couldn't do it. I didn't want to." But the damage was done. No matter how much she wanted to believe him, and she did, the truth clung to her skin like smoke. He had come into her life with blood on his hands. His love might be real now, but the lie it was built on never stopped screaming in her head. She couldn't live like that. So she searched, quietly, found Memory Tech on a secure network, booked an appointment under her real name. And here she was, about to forget the only man she ever truly loved. Leo stared at the file in front of him, his pulses slow, deliberate hammer in his ears. Subject: Alara May. Requested: full partner erasure. Assigned specialist: L. Park. The letters blurred for a second, then cleared again. He almost laughed, but his mouth was dry and bitter. She didn't know he worked here. After they fled the company, Leo returned to what he knew best: Memory Tech, a place where men like him were kept useful and untraceable. He never told what he really did for a living before he met her.
She didn't ask.
And he didn't volunteer. He knew this would happen. Not exactly this, but some kind of reckoning. You can't build love on broken glass and expect it not to cut you. He had been sent to kill her. That much was true. But he didn't do it. He took her away instead. Protected her. He remembered the night she cried in her sleep the first time, and he reached out and touched her shoulder, softly, like he didn't deserve to. But the file didn't care. It was cold. Final. He placed his hand in the neuroglove beside him and closed his eyes. He had erased hundreds of people. Strangers. Enemies. Betrayers. Clients who begged to forget. But this wasn't supposed to be her. He imagined her walking into the lobby downstairs, hugging herself like she always did when she was nervous. Her eyes sharp. Her jaw set. She came here to forget him, because he had been the lie that ruined everything. And now, it was his job to erase himself from her life. He didn't know if he could do it, but he would, because loving her meant not standing in the way of her healing, even if it destroyed him. A year had passed since Alara walked out of Memory Tech and left the weight of Leo behind. She had built a new life in pieces: quiet work, secondhand furniture, and no sharp edges. Tuesdays were still her favorite, especially when it rained. Something about wet pavements and the scent of old paper made the world feel softer, easier to carry. That afternoon, she slipped into a used bookstore tucked between a laundromat and a noodle shop. The bell chimed above her, low and comforting. Inside, it smelled like dust, ink, and forgotten stories. She wandered to the fiction section, running her fingers along worn spines until one stopped her. Invisible Cities. She reached for it just as another hand touched the same cover. Their fingers brushed. She looked up. The man standing beside her was tall, with dark almond eyes and a quiet kind of gravity. His hair was longer than most, slightly curled at the ends. He looked tired, not in a weak way, but in a way that said he'd seen too much and survived it. "Sorry," he said, voice calm low. She smiled, polite. "Go ahead. I've read it." He paused, studying her face. Not in a rude way, but like something about her threw him off. Familiar, maybe. Fleeting. "Are you sure?" he asked, hand still on the book. She nodded once, though something about him made her chest feel strangely tight. "I'm Leo," he said finally. Her breath caught, just for a second. "Alara." His expression didn't change, but his eyes did. Like the name cracked something open behind them. They shook hands. His palm was warm, and for reasons she couldn't explain, she walked away with a different book in her hands, but his name echoing in her head the whole way home. They met again. First in a cafe, on a quiet morning with soft jazz and clinking cups. Alara had been reading, her glasses slipping down her nose, when he walked in and sat across the room. She noticed him only because he was already watching her. Their eyes met. He nodded. She smiled. Then it was an art exhibit, abstract sculptures and haunting portraits. She turned a corner, and there he was, standing in front of a canvas that looked like a memory she couldn't name. "Hey," she said, a little breathless. Leo looked at her, surprised or pretending to be. "You again." They spoke about art, the meaning of shapes, the silence in colors. But Alara's mind wandered. Twice couldn't be coincidence. And when they ran into each other a third time, at a park bench where she liked to journal, it became impossible to ignore. She started to wonder, why him? Why now? And more than that, why did she feel more herself when she was with him? His voice calmed her. His presence made her chest ache in a way she couldn't explain. She laughed more. And when she was alone, she found herself reaching for her notebook, sketching moments she couldn't place, a hand reaching for hers, raindrops on a window, the shape of his mouth when he smiled. And her dreams, that's when it got harder to pretend. She started seeing flashes at night. A messy kitchen, them laughing while burning toast. A fight in the rain, voices raised but full of love. His arms around her, her face wet with tears.
Pain.
Longing. Something gone too soon. She would wake up gasping, clutching the sheets. Then she began to notice other things. How he was always there, not in a way that felt wrong but a little too convenient. The bookstore. The gallery. The coffee shop near her apartment. And how, when he thought she wasn't looking, he'd watch her. Not in a creepy way. Not like a stranger. But like someone who used to know her. Someone mourning something still alive. And always in his eyes, that hidden fire.
Guilt. Regret.
Longing. One night, after an open mic event, he walked her home. They didn't speak much. The streets were quiet, lit by orange lamps and the echo of footsteps. When they reached her building, she stopped and turned to him. "Leo," she began slowly. "Have we met before?" He didn't answer right away. His eyes searched hers like he was looking for a door that had once been open. Then, quietly, he said, "Would you want to remember if we had?" She gave a nervous laugh. "What kind of answer is that?" He just smiled. "Maybe the only one I can give," he said. And then he said goodnight, leaving her on the steps, staring after him, heart pounding with a question she wasn't sure she wanted answered. It didn't take time to become friends with him, and in the quiet way some people do when fate insists on folding two souls together, again and again. Alara found herself looking forward to their conversations, about books, about music, about little nothings that somehow felt like everything. He never crossed the line, but the way he looked at her when she laughed, it lingered. Still, something always felt slightly off when they talked, like there was a shadow in a corner. A puzzle with one piece upside down. Alara had lost her last job 2 months ago. Budget cuts. Downsizing.
She didn't complain.
She just adjusted. One day, over tea, she asked, "Does your office have any openings?" Leo's smile faded. He cleared his throat. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" She raised an eyebrow. "I'm not asking to run the place, Leo. Just something simple.
Filing. Reception.
I can even make coffee." He looked uncomfortable, almost guilty. "Please don't take it the wrong way," he said gently. "It's not the right place for you." That made her pause. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. Like she was reaching toward something hot, and he couldn't move her hand fast enough. "Leo, it's just a job," she said carefully. "Why are you acting like it's a vault?" He looked away. "Because some doors don't stay closed when you walk inside." She stared at him. "Just think about it," he added. And maybe it was the way he said it, or maybe it was her pride, but she didn't drop it. She kept asking, not aggressively, just casually every few days. And eventually he gave in. 3 weeks later, she was given a position. Office lady. Entry level. Least visible. A desk tucked into the back corridor of a building with no signs. But it was something. She didn't ask too many questions. Not at first. Leo gave her the tour himself. The office was sleek, quiet. People moved with a calm that felt slightly too controlled. She noticed the strange security on every door, the biometric pads, the no-phone policy. But she kept her head down, until she didn't. Alara had always been curious. Even with memories she couldn't explain, even with dreams she no longer trusted, her mind chased shadows. One afternoon, while Leo was out of his office, she borrowed his tablet to search for a movie recommendation someone had mentioned at lunch. She wasn't snooping. Not at first. But as the screen lit up, a folder popped up on the corner of the desktop, like it had just synced from somewhere hidden. It read, Alara_ME_backup_01. Her heart skipped. She stared at it unsure. Then her thumb moved. She tapped. The screen went black for half a second. Then a video file opened. And her breath caught. It was her. But not her, as she knew herself. This version of Alara had fire in her eyes. The kind that didn't ask for forgiveness. Her curls were pulled back, her voice steady and sharp. "If you're watching this," the woman in the video said, "it means they got to you." Alara's heartbeat pounded in her ears. "You were trying to expose halcyon systems. You were close, and they couldn't afford the risk. So they sent someone. A cleaner. An assassin." The woman's mouth tightened. Her voice cracked, just slightly. "His name is Leo Park." Alara's hands began to tremble. "The man you trust. The man you smile at. The one who walks you home. He was sent to kill you, but he didn't. He went off script. Took you away.
Protected you.
But he never told you why. So now you're living beside the man they hired to end your life. And you don't even know it." The video ended. She sat there for a long time, frozen and numb. The air in the room had changed. Or maybe it was just her.
Leo.
The man who had become her comfort had once been her executioner. He hadn't done it, but he'd planned to. He'd lied. Every day. The hands she held. The voice that soothed her. All of it had started with a contract. And now her chest burned with a feeling she couldn't name. Not just betrayal, but the terrifying possibility that maybe she still loved him,